Okay, so this one uses a different process entirely in that it uses a filter, but that filter belongs to the category of key filters in Final Cut Pro. So you'll see all of the green screen, chroma keyers, color key, and all of the different types of compositing or keying filters in there. Now the Luma key is a very simple one to use. Now the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to take an item here, and mask will do fine, so I'll use that, and I'll drag that out here onto my clip. Now the fact that this doesn't cover the entire clip is fine, and you'll see why in a moment. Now, when I get my Luma key and I drag that onto my mask.png, you'll see that something happens. The text in this case has become transparent and the black has remained. If I load that up in the motion tab to look at the filter controls, I see my Luma key there. I can see my view is final, so that's showing me the result of the key being applied through the filter, and its key mode is set to key out brighter. Now the key out brighter is the important thing here. Key out brighter and darker are the two that we can look at here, because the way that this filter works is that it looks at a particular value, again from 0 being black and 1 being white, or if you want to think of it as a low to high values from black to white. It's going to set a point or a certain value in there, and it will say anything lower than this value, make it invisible, anything higher than this value, make it visible, or vice versa. So if I say key out brighter and the threshold is set to a certain amount, the white is obviously brighter than the amount that has been set. Now if I set that to key out darker, you'll see that it goes to a white on black. So if I wanted to, I could set my wireframe here and shrink that down and use that as a lower third or something like that. But the idea here is that by applying the Luma key filter to an object, the filter itself creates a matte image behind the scenes that we don't see directly, and that matte image is then used to control the graphic that we're overlaying on top of our clip. So just because you don't see the actual matte image itself, such as this or this, Final Cut Pro is quite often actually creating one on the fly in the background in memory and using that to apply to whatever it is that you want, or to apply to the layer that it's been dragged onto. Okay, so that's the linear key. So that only requires one image. That's the difference between a linear key and a Luma key. The linear key requires that second matte image to be applied to it, whereas the Luma key creates its own matte image based on itself. So you only need one graphic. So this means that in the Vision Mixer, if you had scrolling text white on black, for example, and if you laid that down at the end of your program, you could knock out the black and just have the white text going up the screen if you didn't have an actual scrolling text generator in your Vision Mixer, which incidentally we don't. So this is one way of getting that kind of text on screen. So that's the Luma key.